In this chapter, we shall study about the early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. To understand this chapter, it is very important to know the difference between the early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. The first paragraph will tell you the difference between the early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. Scholars and historians refer to the period when Aryans first settled in India as the early Vedic period. According to historians, according to scholars, the early Vedic period started when the Aryans first settled in India. 1500 to 1000 BC. Between 1000 BC to 500 BC, when iron had come to be used, it is believed that Aryans followed the course of the rivers and settled along the valley of the Yamuna and the Ganga. The iron tools helped them to clear the forest with the help of the iron tools. It is believed that Aryans followed the course of the rivers. Aryans followed the course of the rivers and settled along the valley of the Jamuna and the Ganga. The iron tools, with the help of iron tools, which helped them to clear the forest. They moved in the eastward and the southeastward directions. They moved in the eastward and the southeastward directions. Aryans so far nomadic in nature. In the first few lines we studied that Aryans followed the course of the rivers and settled along the valley of the Jamuna and the Ganga. They were nomadic. What does it show? It shows that they were wandering here and there. Nomadic persons are those who are roaming about from one place to another aimlessly, frequently, without a fixed pattern of movement. Such kind of persons are called nomadic. So Aryans are nomadic. That's why from the river, from the course of the rivers, they settled first in the area of the Jamuna and the Ganga. Iron tools helped them to clear the forests, and they moved in the eastward and the southeastward directions. Aryans so far nomadic in nature. They are nomadic in nature, means they were roaming here, there and everywhere. It was their nature. Gradually settled in the Gangetic Valley, and gradually, slowly and slowly, they settled themselves in the Gangetic Valley. This period is known as the later Vedic period, 1000 BC to 500 BC. The culture of the period is referred to as the Vedic culture because it was based on the Vedic text. This period is known as the later Vedic period. The culture of this period is referred to as the Vedic culture because it was based on the Vedic text. Sources of information about the Aryans, about the Vedic period. First information is the literary source. The Vedic texts may be divided into two broad chronological groups. The early Vedic texts 15,000 to 1000 BC, when most of the hymns of the Rig Vedas were composed during this period, most of the hymns of the Rig Vedas were composed. And the later Vedic texts 1000 to 500 BC, to which belong the remaining Vedas and their branches, the Brahmanas, the Aryanak, Upanishads, etc. The two periods correspond to the two phases of Aryan expansion in India. The social, economic, political and religious aspects of the life of the people came to be reflected in the Vedic literature. When we shall go through the Vedic literature, when we shall read the Vedic literature between the lines, then we will realize about their social, political, economic and religious aspects of the life of the people. Thus Vedas became the storehouse of knowledge. That's why it is said that Vedas are the storehouse of knowledge. Vedas are the treasury of knowledge. Vedas are the repository of knowledge. A lot of gyan, it is given there, a lot of knowledge, contained in the book, the Vedas. Vedic literature is divided into two parts, namely the Shruti and the Smriti. Vedic literature is divided into two parts, namely the Shruti and the Smriti. It is believed that the Shruti was revealed to the sages by God. Shruti was revealed to the sages by God. Whatever that is contained in the part which is known as a Shruti, in that part, whatever the things you will find there, those things were given to the sages by God. And they passed on that knowledge orally from generation to generation. The knowledge which is contained in Shruti, that knowledge the sages passed on orally from generation to generation. On the other hand, Smriti literature was composed by the rishis, the sages. The Vedic literature can be classified into the following categories. The four Vedas: Rig Veda, Samveda, Yajurveda and Atharvaveda. First Rig Veda, second Samveda, third Yajurveda and fourth Atharvaveda. These are the four Vedas. And their Samhitas, the four Vedas, the Rig Veda, Samveda, Yajurveda and Atharvavedas, and their Samhitas. The Brahmanam attached to each Sanhitas. Third one, Aryanak. The Brahmanam are the Vedic Shruti works. Okay, Brahmanam are Vedic Shruti works attached to Sanhitas. Sanhitas means hymns and mantras. Sanhitas means hymns and mantras of the Rig Vedas, Sam Vedas, Yajur Vedas and Atharva Vedas. Each Veda has one or more of its own. Brahmanas, and each Brahmanas is generally associated with particular Vedic schools. Particular sakhas are the Vedic school. The Aryanak, third one is Aryanak. Aryanak constitutes the philosophy behind ritual sacrifice of the ancient Hindu sacred texts, the Vedas. The Aryanak constitutes the philosophy behind ritual sacrifice of the ancient Hindu sacred text, the Vedas. They typically represent the later sections of Vedas and are one of many layers of the Vedic texts. Now, fourth one is the Upanishads. Upanishads are late Vedic Sanskrit texts of religious teachings which form the foundation of Hinduism. So these are Vedic literature can be classified into four categories. The first one, the four Vedas and their Sanhitas. Sanhitas contained hymns and mantras. The Brahmanas, second one Brahmanas attached to each Sanhitas. Third one the Aryanak and fourth one the Upanishads. Upanishads are late Vedic Sanskrit texts of religious teachings which form the foundations of Hinduism. Now we shall study in detail about the first one, the four Vedas. What does this book contains? Okay. The Vedas, the first one is the Rig Veda. It is the oldest religious text in the world. Vedas, the Rig Veda is the oldest religious text in the world and is therefore known as the first testament of mankind. The Rig Vedas, the first Vedas, okay, the first oldest religious text in the world was known as the first testament of mankind. It is divided into 10 mandalas. It is said to have been composed during the early Vedic period. Means Vedas, the Rig Veda, okay, it is said to have been composed during the early Vedic period. The hymns are dedicated by the sages to gods. They were passed on orally from teachers to their disciples, from teachers to their students. The Rig Vedic hymns are authentic sources of knowledge of life of people of the time. if you want to get the first hand knowledge about the people of the early Vedic period, you must study the Rig Vedas. By means of study the Rig Vedas, you will get the authentic knowledge of the life of the people of the time. Much of the Indian philosophy is based on the Rig Veda. It also contains the famous Gayatri mantra. Rig Veda contained the famous Gayatri mantra. Although religious in nature, the Vedas are valuable source of information on various subjects. Okay, by means of reading Vedas, you will get a lot of knowledge. Gayatri mantra, the Rig Vedas contains the famous Gayatri mantra. Okay. Vedas are a large body of religious texts originating in ancient India, composed in Vedic Sanskrit. The text constitute the oldest layer of Sanskrit literature and the oldest scriptures of Hinduism. The Upanishads are late Vedic Sanskrit texts of religious teachings and ideas still revered in Hinduism. Samveda, second one is the Samveda. The term Sam means a sweet song or the melody. In this Veda, some of the hymns are borrowed from the Rig Vedas. Some of the hymns are borrowed from the Rig Vedas and are contained in the Samvedas. The hymns in Samvedas were meant to be sung at the time of the sacrifice by the priest. At the time of the sacrifice by the priest, those hymns were sung. Okay, and some songs, some hymns are borrowed from the Rig Vedas and contained in this Samvedas. The Yajur Vedas, third one, it deals with hymns recited during the performance of yajnas. Yajnas, when the priests were performing yaj, when they were performing yaj, the hymns in this Veda throw light on the social and religious life of the Aryans. When they were doing yaj, that time those hymns were recited, those mantras were recited. So in the third one, the Yajur Vedas, okay, the mantras are given there. This Ved contained the hymns, contained the mantra, okay, which were recited during the performance of the yajnas. The Atharva Veda, the hymns contained in this Vedas deal with magic and charm. Most of the hymns are taken from the Rig Veda. Besides the power of spirits, the hymns deals with Jnana. Jnana means knowledge. Besides the power of spirits, the hymns deals with Jnana. Jnana means knowledge. Karma means action. And Upasana means invocation of a God. By means of reciting those mantras, The sages of that time were invoking those mantras were recited. Some hymns also deal with medicines for the treatment of various diseases. Okay, some hymns are also dealing with medicines for the treatment of various diseases. By means of reciting those hymns, the Vedic people were curing the diseases of the people. The Brahmanas, I have already explained the word Brahmanas. Brahmanas are Vedic Shruti works attached to the Samhitas. Samhitas means hymns and mantras of the Rig, Sam, Yajur and Atharva Vedas. Each Veda has one or more of its own Brahmanas, and each Brahmanas is generally associated with a particular Sakha or Vedic school. Brahmanas, written after the Vedas as their simple commentary. Okay, written after the Vedas as their simple commentary. The Brahmanas are in prose. The Brahmanas are in prose. It is written in prose. They explain the social and religious importance of rituals as well as the value of sacrifice. By reading Brahmanas, we came to know about the social and religious importance of rituals, about the social and religious importance of the value of sacrifices. The Brahmanas are of great historical value. Each Vedas has several Brahmanas. Now the next one, the Aryanak. Aryanak, they are known as forest books written for the guidance of the hermits and the students living in forests. They form the concluding part of the Brahmanas. Means Aryanak are the concluding part of the Brahmanas. Their main themes are mysticism and philosophy. Okay. The Upanishads, they are philosophical commentaries on Vedas. Upanishads 108, somewhere it is given 108. Okay. They are philosophical. 18 Upanishads are there. They are philosophical commentaries. Upanishads are philosophical commentaries on the Vedas. The doctrine such as karma, moksha and maya are explained in detail. The doctrines such as karma, moksha and maya are explained in detail. Upanishads form the basic source of Indian philosophy. Upanishads form the basic source of Indian philosophy. Composed by different sages, they are said to form the foundation on which later additions to Vedic literature rest. The most famous of these Upanishads are Chandogya Upanishads, Kena Upanishads, Aitareya Upanishads and Taittiriya Upanishads. These are famous among Upanishads. Allied Vedic literature. allied Vedic literature are 6. It is given here. First one is the Vedangas. Vedangas, they deal with the ways in which the Vedas are to be chanted. How the mantras are being chanted, you will get the knowledge here in the Vedangas, and are thus important in the understanding of the Vedas. If you want to understand the content of the Vedas, if you want to understand the Vedas in detail, first you have to study this, the Vedangas. They deal with the ways in which the Vedas are to be chanted and are thus important in the understanding of the Vedas. The 6 Vedangas deal with pronunciation, grammar, etymology, metrics and astrology. Etymology, how it is originated, how some words are originated. Astrology, about the future of someone. Through astrology, they can predict about the future. Sutras. Second one is the Sutras. They are divided into 3 groups. The Satra Sutras, which deal with yajnas and sacrifices. Griha Sutras and Smarta Sutras, which deal with the ceremonies connected with family life, and the Dharma Sutras, which provide rules of conduct for various classes of people and the various stages in their life. Means by means of the sutras, we came to know about different stages of their life. Upavedas. The Upavedas, as the name suggests, they are the subsidiary Vedas. They are the helping Vedas. They are 4 in number. Ayurveda deals with the Indian system of medicine. This time Ayurveda is very popular. Ayurveda deals with Indian system of medicine. The Dhanurveda describes the art of warfare. By means of reading Dhanurveda, we came to know how they were doing archery. Gandharva Vedas describes the art of music, and the Silpa Veda deals with the art and architecture. These are the Upavedas. Ayurveda, first one. Dhanurveda, which tells us about the art of warfare, and Gandharva Vedas describes the art of music, and the Silpa Vedas deals with the art and architecture, how the buildings are made, how the statues are made. Okay, about the sculpture we came to know about the Silpa Vedas. Darsanas. These are 6 schools of Indian philosophy known as Sadh Darsanas. They include Nyaya Darshan, Vaisesik Darshan, Yog, Purva Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa. They all propagate the virtues of life and are proposed to external rituals. Dharma Shastras. The law books called the Dharma Shastras and the Smritis together with their commentaries are called Dharma Shastras. They lay down the duties for different classes of people as well as for kings and their officials. Manu Smriti gives the description of Hindu code of law, including the varnas, the caste and the ashram. Varna chaturvarna, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. And ashramas, 4 ashramas: Brahmacharya ashram, Girahasth ashram, Vanprasth ashram and Sannyas ashram. About all these things, it given there in detail. Ashtadhyayi, it is a treatise on Sanskrit grammar. Ashtadhyayi is a treatise on Sanskrit grammar by Panini. Information is given about the roots of words and the context in which they were used in Vedic literature. So by means of studying Ashtadhyayi, which was written by Panini, it is a treatise on Sanskrit grammar. Information about the root of words, information about the context in which they were used in Vedic literature, you will get by reading Ashtadhyayi. The 2 epics were very popular in those days. The Ramayana and the Mahabharata are important epics. This point we will study in our next class. Thank you.